Hello, everybody,
Hi!
and welcome to our new channel. We've been doing eBay for almost 4 years, and our store is called Retail Therapy Haven. We're going to talk about what sold on eBay for us today, and we would love to have anyone ask any questions on anything eBay related.
Or join our group or chat, ask
So,
questions.
The first thing that sold today was actually this Blu-ray right here. It is a horror Blu-ray, which is pretty popular actually. People buy some strange horror movies or hard to find ones out there. This one sold for $20 plus shipping. So keep your eye out for some scary movies like this. I know some people wonder like how you pack things like this. So when I get a DVD or a Blu-ray that sells, the best things to do is pop it open, obviously, and make sure it's in there. And what I do is I get a piece of bubble wrap like this. I make a little square like so.
I love the popping thing.
And I pop it inside where the disc is. And this keeps it from rattling. Because usually the movie or the game or whatever you got inside will rattle. And you don't want that to happen. And then next, I get a regular piece of bubble wrap. Always got a bunch of bubble wrap around. Wrap up the movie or game, whatever you got. It don't gotta be too pretty. Just want to make sure it's wrapped pretty good. And I got my handy dandy eBay tape, which I like to use because it's like a free advertisement. Take its stuff to the post office. Some people ask me, "Oh, you sell on eBay?" And that's a chance for me to kind of advertise my business a little bit. So, and it's cheap. There's actually a lot of sellers on eBay that sell eBay tape, and it's fairly cheap. So I use it for everything. Alright, after I got it wrapped like that, well, there's one or two ways you can do this. You gotta throw it in a box, or I'll show you what I like to do too. Is I have a lot of extra pieces of cardboard hanging out because, you know, cut up some boxes sometimes, things like that. So, got an extra piece of cardboard here that's just laying around. I'll just cut the cardboard like this. Pretty simple. This is actually a pretty thick piece, so need some little bit of muscles there. Take the movie like so. Just wrap it in the cardboard there. It's a tough piece of cardboard, like I said. So that's good. So just kind of like a cardboard sandwich there. Kind of like a cheap version of a box, you know, since you're protecting the DVD that's inside there, the Blu-ray. And you can just wrap it with tape over, which I like to do. Some people may think it's a little excessive, but it's simple. You got tons of little extra materials laying around. Then you just take the movie there we got, pop it in little poly bags. Got lots of these poly bags. This one is just a 13 by 10. You know, fold it over. Got it. And then I always throw an extra little piece of eBay tape right there. You know, that free advertisement like I told you. Drop it on the scale I got right here. It's actually 6.3 ounces, so if you don't know, you have to round up to the nearest. So we're going to print this label. Say it's 7 ounces. Like I said, we got our measuring tape here. I know these bags are 13 by 10, but we folded it over a little bit, so it's 12 by 10 by 3, we'll say 3, so 12, 10, 3. That's what we'll plug in. And so the buyer actually picked medium mail, which is $4.63, but Ground Advantage is actually faster and you get insurance, and it's 10 cents cheaper today. So we're just going to do Ground Advantage. They'll get it faster, which the customer will be happy. It's got insurance just in case, and it's 10 cents cheaper. Pretty good deal there. So we'll print the label. In a second you hear the label come out. We do use a thermal printer. The brand we have is Rollo. We started off with a cheaper printer when we first started at eBay a few years ago, but went ahead and upgraded to Rollo. If you don't have a Rollo thermal printer and you're doing this seriously, I suggest you get one. They're awesome. If anyone has any questions about any of the things we use day in and day out, just let me know. Tell you everything we recommend. Then off to the box over there where we put stuff in to ship out. The next thing we sold today is actually we sold these shoes. You know, when you see these shoes, you might think they're kind of boring or not original, but when you go and you're looking at these types of shoes, just make sure you take a close look at the brand. Sometimes the condition doesn't have to be the best. You know, you just want to make sure that the sole's still intact, and that's the big thing that I look for. And obviously the bottom, you know, this one still has life left. But most importantly, the brand. The brand of this shoe is actually a Russell moccasin, and they're made in USA in Wisconsin. They're really high-end shoes. Even though these are pre-owned, the cheapest ones listed were up in the hundreds. It is a size 9, which isn't the biggest size. I would say the most common shoe size is like 11 to 12, but we had these listed, I think they were listed about a week. We had it on best offer, and I took an offer for $133 plus shipping. Pretty good deal. I'm sure they'll enjoy them. If they were my size, might keep them. But we're going to get these out. The way I do shoes is first I put them in a poly bag, each shoe, just like that. So that's one. And I'll get the other one. You might ask me, why do you put them in a poly bag? Well, like I said, I have lots of materials to pack stuff with because they're not expensive when you get them in bulk. And this is the first protection from any type of weather conditions. If it rains and the box gets wet or anything like that, well, guess what? I know the shoe's not going to get wet. So that's very important. The next thing is, got to find a box. So got to see if I got anything in the office right now, which I do. I can use one of these boxes right here. We did order boxes a lot. The first year or so we did eBay. You know, there are some cheap places to get boxes out there. You can get them right from eBay. You can get them from Harbor Freight, Uline, things like that. There's another site out there called Zorro. They're pretty good. But I try to get most of my boxes for free if I can at like Dollar General and places like that. You know, they're always stocking shelves and the boxes go out for free and they're perfectly fine. If you mail them in the mail, like mostly Ground Advantage, they don't really care if the boxes say a lot of stuff on them, as long as you package it professionally. And then, yeah, it's a way to save some money out there, for sure. So, like I said, these will fit in here. This box looks like it might be a little bigger than the shoes, which is good. It'll give us some room. But just for the bottom and around the shoe, we're going to put some added protection. Yes, I like to use Christmas wrap because packing paper is good if you can get a bunch of it for a pretty good deal. But, you know, we went to Hobby Lobby. It was 90% off day. And these really big rolls of wrapping paper that are the thick type of wrapping paper. It's not just that flimsy stuff. This is the thick stuff. It was $1 a roll. So it's kind of hard to beat that. And it's good packing material. And it's kind of fun when the customer opens it. So we're going to throw this in the bottom of the box here real quick. And these shoes should fit pretty good in here actually. They're not going to be smashed or anything. Looks like they're going to be nice and secure. And then I'm going to get another piece of paper and I'm just going to put it on top there. Just some added protection there. Easy as that. You know, sometimes just a little bit of care when you pack something means a lot. Things get there safely. The worst thing you can do is pack something and they get banged around, scratched up, broken, things like that. You know? You might see me tape a lot of stuff up. You might say, oh, you use a lot of tape. Well, like I said, lots of materials. And I think just going the extra mile with that, like really, customer appreciates that. So, with these, you know, make sure it's keep it pretty good. Because this is I would say, it's kind of like a higher end item, I would say. You know, it's not a cheap item, but you definitely don't want no complaints on it. Alright. So boom, we got our box. So, see, it didn't take long. You know, extra care really didn't take long at all. So throw it on the scale there. And these look like they're going to weigh 2 pounds, 13 ounces and some change. So we'll round up 2 pounds, 14 ounces. We'll measure it real quick. So we got 15 by 8 by 6. So we'll throw those dimensions in there. And it looks like for Ground Advantage, we can do $6.65. They paid $6.34 for shipping. It's a very fractional difference. It's okay. You know, we're going to be just fine. No complaints there. We'll go ahead and get this label. And then we'll see what else sold today. That name looked familiar. They might have bought something from us before. I don't know. Maybe. Alright, so we got that label. Throw it in the box. And I'll slide it over there. So when I walk out the door, I can put it right in our little bin. Boom. Alright, next thing that sold today. So we did sell some Purdue Boilermaker shorts. I kind of already threw them in the bag. So when we have our clothes, when we inventory them, we put our clothes inside of a clear poly bag and we put them in our inventory bins. But I'm not going to mail anything in the clear poly bag, obviously, but it's easier to find when you're got it inventory. So throw it in a black one. That's what we usually use, these black poly bags. And just going to throw a piece of eBay tape on there because it's a little piece, you know, someone might see it, ask the question, do you sell online? And then you kind of built a customer. So, you got the bag, throw it on the scale, shouldn't be too much. It's going to be 5.7 ounces. So we'll round that up to 6. And The bag looks like 12 by 10 by 3. Good. Ground Advantage, $4.52. It's exactly what the buyer paid. Easy. So we're gonna get that label. Selling clothes like that, really easy to package. Just some clothes just take a while to go out the door, you know. But that's okay. This item was actually in our store for a long time. It was brand new with tags, but it was a smaller size, and it was the Purdue Boilermakers. Just took some time to get that right customer. Sometimes when you buy clothes and sell clothes, you gotta think about how long is this gonna sit around. Is it a niche? Is it something the general people will like? Or, and that kind of is a gauge on, you know, how fast it might sell. Or how much money you can make off of it. If it takes a while to sell, maybe it's because you got it too much money. So we'll toss that over there for the box. And the next thing we sold is these 5 little Lemax Spooky Town statues. So it's kind of like the Christmas villages you see, but these are Halloween based. So we actually been selling off a big collection of these. We got probably 5 months ago at a yard sale in Florida when we were visiting family, and we sold off a lot of the bigger figures, and these are some of the smaller ones that are still around. And even though it's not near Halloween, people buy Halloween year round. You just might not get top dollar for them, but right now we've been in the profit on that for a while, so we did take an offer on those. We took an offer on those for $28, and you know, we're gonna get them out the door. There is one that's loose, so we got to make sure we package that one a little better. But we'll get them wrapped up and out the door. Obviously gonna need some bubble wrap for this one. We might be able to use this box. We'll see. Yeah, I got some bubble wrap right here. I think this will be perfect for this loose one here. We want to be careful with it. Don't want one to break, and then of course you might get a complaint and they might want to return it or ask for a partial refund. You know, we try not to have those things. You know, we don't need problems like that. We want everyone to be happy. So make sure when you're wrapping stuff like this, you're careful you don't drop it, because I have done that before, and it's not fun to write somebody saying you accidentally did that. Also, when you do bubble wrap on things like that, make sure you don't pack it too tight. You know, you pack it too tight, you might accidentally break it yourself, and that's not good. So maybe you think I use too much bubble wrap and stuff like that again, but I'm always better safe than sorry. I'm wearing profit on these already, and you know, a couple pennies here and there isn't going to make or break us if everyone's happy in the whole grand scheme of things. So we got that one nice and safe and sound. These ones I'll still put in, like, there's probably some nice paper wrap, because these little packages they're in are actually pretty good. I don't think we need to use bubble wrap on all of them. But I'll get some paper for them. Alright. Got one here. And I'm not gonna bore you too much. I'll come back when I have those. Alright, well, I'm back. I actually got all those packed up. in this box. So put it on the scale. 1 pound 4 ounces. And give it a quick measure. 12 by 7 by 6. 12, 7, 6. So it's going to cost us $7.67 to get this out. We did kind of estimate the shipping on that one a little low, but we still made some money on that. So, you know, we'll survive. You know, it's not always perfect, but we got some wiggle rooms here and there. Oh, hey Haley. Here's one of my daughters walking in. She's dressed up like a princess from Wicked today. Haley, you want to say hi? Hi.
It's Glinda.
Alright, so we'll get this label on here. And we actually made 2 purchases, and within that time we sold some coveralls and a tie. So we'll get that later. Probably get it out though for tomorrow. Got plenty of time. Our store is on, I think, 3 or 4 business day shipping, but try to get things out the next day. You know, we get a lot of good comments about how fast the shipping is, you know, not just because we get it out the next day, but our post office around here and our post office workers are great, so we take care of them, they take care of us.
Hi.
Hey, Haley.
Hi.
You want to take this box from me?
Hi.
You're a good helper.
Hi.
Yeah, you gonna take that box from me? She likes helping out when she can.
Uncle here. Uncle here.
Yeah, good job.
Uncle here. Uncle here.
Yeah. The next thing that I sold is actually these boots. They're not official military boots, even though they kind of look like they would be. They're actually just camo side sit duty boots. They're made by a company called Guide Gear, so they're more of like I would say like a hiking type brand. They kind of look military style, but the big thing, you know, they're not military. There's no steel toe, so definitely want these in that situation. But you know, these are still pretty good boots to take out hiking, trailing, things like that. They're not worth that much though, you know. So if you're able to come across some boots like this and get them for a pretty good deal, keep your bottom dollar pretty low, you know, you make some profit. Like these sold for $19.99 plus shipping. So at the end of the day, you still make some money, you know, and for an item that's fairly decent to list, and you know, doesn't take too much packing stuff. You just need to get a decent sized box. So same thing as the other shoes I had. Thank you. Thank you. I like to poly bag my shoes, even though these ones aren't the best condition. You know, I don't want a customer saying, "Oh, my box got left in the rain and now my shoes are soaked and they're all moldy," or whatever they could get when they're all wet. You know, definitely want to prevent that if we can. And it's only at the cost of 2 bags, which when you buy them in bulk is just pennies. It's definitely worth any type of hassle or weather thing that might happen, you know. And it doesn't take long. Everything is right here, pretty close and handy at the desk. I know you see all that crazy stuff behind me. Some of it is on our store, but some of it is just personal collection too. But it does get kind of crazy in here because this is the same room where we list things, and then it kind of stays in here until it gets a little kind of crazy, which it's getting really close right now. And then we inventory it, and then we move it to the garage where we keep all our inventory. Yeah. So now I gotta build me a box for those boots. So maybe like, dang, how am I gonna build a box? You know, so get these boxes. This is another free box. So sometimes they're a little awkward. That's okay, they make do. Just might need a little bit extra tape. So we'll get that done. Get started. So there's like this one's kind of weird because there's like a hole in the middle. So we'll put a piece of cardboard down in there so it's good. And a box like this, if you actually bought it and you got them in bulk, would probably cost you $1, $1.50, something like that. So a couple extra pieces of tape in the end. It adds up on that part. Been doing this a long time, almost 4 years, so I kind of got the tape and just get it down. So let me get a little piece of cardboard to the inside of there. That way there ain't no boots ain't moving around in there, or someone accidentally pokes through and gets them or something like that. That wouldn't be very good. So I'll get a piece of tape just to hold it in there. That'll be quick. Boom. Throw that at the bottom there. I'll show you what it looks like. So now the inside of the box looks like that. No problems, no hole. It's not going to move anywhere. Now we can put our boots in there. It should fit pretty good. Perfect. I'll show you. See, our boots fit pretty good in there. Barely any wiggle room, but we'll throw some paper in there just so they don't wiggle at all. So, got me some gingerbread wrapping paper now. Get a piece like that. And in there. Now I'm just going to throw a piece of that cardboard and get a piece ready because I know I'm going to have to cover a hole again, which is going to be easy to fix this time. So I'll show you how I do it. One more piece of tape. So when I do it this time around, see, it's going to be covered up like that. When we close it, won't even know. Hit it the other way because this box, it's got some perforated edges, so we don't want nothing popping open or getting ripped. So yeah, this one's taking a little extra tape, but it's okay. You can get the tape at a really good deal online on eBay. Support another eBayer, and like I said, free advertisement. It's a better deal than you can get from walking any store and buying rolls of tape. These edges right here, like I said, I'll probably just slap some of these on the corner. They're like perforated a little bit. Boom. And I always check the side. See, this one's got a weird side, so we'll just throw a couple pieces right there to be sure. Don't want nothing accidentally getting ripped open. Want everything to get there just like we had it posted, and that's the goal. Now it's all secured right there. Oh, I didn't get these two edges. That'll be real quick. Couple quick pieces. Boom. And there we go. There's our box for those boots. Didn't take much long. Throw it on the scale. These might be a little heavier. They're a little heavier than the other ones we had. Yep, they're 4 pounds and 2 ounces. So, and it's going to Kansas, which tends to cost a little more to send. Well, we'll see. 13 by 10 by 9. And yeah, ground advantage, we were off just $1. We could send it FedEx if we wanted to, a little under, but I think everything I'm gonna have is probably just gonna be at the USPS, and they always treat us well, and just paying an extra $1 ain't gonna hurt us. So we'll go ahead and do that. It's convenient, just go all one place. We do use FedEx sometimes if it's something large or if the seller prefers it. Same thing with UPS, but we mostly use USPS for everything. Haven't had any issues. Yeah, and the people at the post office are pretty nice around here. They see us all the time. They know we pack everything good. We do our labels correctly. So I think they appreciate that too. Slide it over there. So we'll pick it up and take it later. Let's see what else we got on this list that I grabbed. I grabbed a tennis racket. We did sell a tennis racket. Tennis rackets, they're hit or miss. So if you do want to resell a tennis racket, you definitely have to look it up. There's tons of models out there. So this one's actually a Wilson Pro Staff Classic. And we actually had another one just like this when we got this, but it wasn't a classic. It was a different version. It was, I think, a 6.1 or something like that, and they're actually worth a little bit more. And that one sold fairly quickly. And this one, I think, sat around for another 2 weeks, and we did get some questions on it and things like that, and it finally sold this morning. I think we did send out an offer on it. I think we had this one listed at $29.99 because it wasn't as the upgraded model as the other one. And we sent out an offer, and we sold this one for $28.45. As you can see, tennis rackets, as long as you take really good pictures and describe it, you shouldn't have any complaints, which is what we tend to not do. We tend not to have any complaints, so we put lots of pictures and explain. So this one, this part right here is good. We've sold them rackets before where it needed to get rethreaded. Some people know how to do that pretty good, so they don't mind if it's a nice racket. But see, this grip definitely needs to get retaped. I am not good at it. I have a friend that's good at that. But you can sell them just like this. Just make sure you're right. It needs to get re-gripped, because if someone actually plays a lot, they most likely want to re-grip it anyways, because they have a specific tape they like, or a thickness they might want for their hand, and all types of different reasons. So don't be discouraged if you're trying to resell a tennis racket or something like that because of the grip, because that's not going to be that big of a deal. Yeah, so like I said, this one sold for $28.45. Boxing these. So boxing tennis rackets for a long time was a challenge. It almost made me not want to buy tennis rackets anymore, even though I knew they would sell, because boxing these things used to take time, a lot of tape, and it was kind of annoying. So these, it's recommended, highly recommended, and worth the time, I would say, and worth the money, to buy tennis racket boxes. So this right here is actually tennis racket box size. I ordered these online. I think they came from eBay. They might have came from Zorro. Zorro is a pretty good site for shipping supplies. And this box is actually probably bigger than this racket because we got a bigger size box because we do have some rackets for sale that came with the cases. So they're a little bit bigger, but this box is 30 by 14 by 7. So I'm going to make this box. I'm going to get this racket in there, and if the box is a little too big, depending on the dimensions when we try and ship it, if the price difference is substantial because of how big it is, then we'll cut down the box, but that's no big deal. We'll see what happens. All right, so I'm going to put this box together. Pretty big one. Hey, Lily Boo. My oldest daughter's coming. You want to say hi, Lily? Say hi. Camera's right there.
Whatever.
They're getting ready. That's when I pack things right now. Usually. This box is big. I used to hate Frankenboxing these. It was a big challenge finding boxes to cut and combine and everything else like that. Doing it this way, even though the box, if you order a bunch of them, you get a good deal. So I think I paid like $1.25 for each box or something like that. Well worth it. Well worth it. So see how this racket fits in here. I mean, the racket fits perfect. The box is a lot bigger than the racket a little bit. But let's see what it is going to cost to ship the way it is, and we'll see if we need to make an adjustment, if it's going to cost a ton of money or not. So even though this, like I said, this box had pre-stamped dimensions on it, still measure it, because sometimes when you buy these boxes, that'll be the dimension of the inside of the box. And if you do that when you ship it and you don't measure the outside of the box, you could get hit with some fees, and you don't want that. That's bad news. So let's measure the outside of this box the way we would actually ship it to make sure it's right. So the actual length of this box is, looks like it's going to be right at 30, like I said, so that's good. Let's see the width. So we got the width at 15, see? Instead of, I think it was 14 I said before. And the width, and then the other way is 8. So we got 30, 14, 8. So let's just plug that in and see what this price difference might be. So USPS Ground Advantage, yeah, you're going to hit some crazy fees if we use that. So probably want to steer away from that, especially this box is going all the way to California. FedEx home delivery is $24. USPS $35. That's pretty high. So the shipping paid was only $13. So if we did FedEx, we'd take a hit like $11. You know, sometimes you don't want to do that. So now let's see if what would happen if we could probably cut down. I think we could cut down like a couple inches on one of the ends. So let's see if we made it instead of 8. What if we made it like 5? Let's see what the big change is. So yeah, I think that's where we hit the size there. So 5 actually brings the FedEx down to 18. That's way more comparable. Instead of losing $12 for the shipping, we would only lose about 5.5, which that's a way bigger compromise in my opinion. If we actually cut it down to a 4-inch, it would actually be equal. So maybe I can do that. We'll try it. This means I just gotta cut the sides in a little bit is the easiest way. So let me go ahead and wrap this racket first. So we'll just use a big thing of paper, kind of wrap it up like that. And that should be good. It's not going to move around. And it's going to be in a box. So that should be the easiest way. Wrap it on, push this way. It doesn't have to look pretty like that. You don't even have to take it. It's not going to go anywhere. Alright, let's see if we can cut down the size of this box a little bit. Need that shipping cost down. You know, it takes a little bit of work now, but you know, it's okay. It happens. Easiest way to do this, I think. I mean, there's probably an easier way, but you can just cut the corners down a little bit on each side, and you just fold the little flappies in. Now, if the flaps are too big, then you can trim those down too, because yeah, it'll make it the weight go down, but usually the weight of the box isn't the issue. It's the size of the box is the issue. That's where the shipping costs start jumping really high. So, folded it in. You know, yeah, it's pretty. And that looks good. We're gonna tape the two sides down. I don't think I'm gonna cut it down because the weight's really not the issue here. It's the size of the box in this case. Now, when you do it this way, yeah, the flaps that you get turned over the second time, sometimes they are big, and you gotta trim them a little. But it's not bad. I mean, the buyer isn't really caring about what the box looks like all the time. You know, as long as the items get there safe, that's the most important thing. So you'll see, like, with one of the sides down, it kind of looks like that. And that's just from the way the box folds over. But you can get in there and, like, make it a little better if you want. You know, not the greatest, but let's see what that side is going to be. See, that side's only going to be 4. So we did use only 4. But I could probably get it down there a little cleaner. It just takes a little oomph. Not too much. I'm sure somebody's got a better way of probably doing it the hard way. But I don't have to do it too often. You know, I only make a box like this like once a week, so it's not gonna kill me, you know. See, but the flap is hanging over on the side a little bit, so what I'll do is I like to trim it down kind of. That way it's easier to tape up. And if you're worried about the weight, it'll take off a few ounces. Maybe that'll get you down where you want to be. And then you have a good conversation when you bring a box like this into the post office. You're like, oh man, how did you get that? You're like, I don't know. Practice. Used to doing it like that. Alright. I'm just going to throw a piece of tape on here so this flap stays down. Pretty easy. And then we got since we cut the flap down like that, now so we can stick little pieces of cardboard. If you ever need it for something, to wrap something up good, like how I used those pieces before for that Blu-ray, you know, you can use those things for all sorts of things. Let me cut this one down too, as I already know. And I probably don't have the best scissors to do this with, but you know what? I found these things somewhere and they cut good. I mean, I'm sure I could be using a box cutter or something like that, but I don't know. Just getting the custom used to these scissors. Kind of like old fake, you know. So then we fold this side down. Like that. Oh, that one looks a lot cleaner. Folding that side down. A lot easier. So now we just gotta tape this up. So if we tape it up, it'll look a lot better. And all the cardboard is all down. This racket is really protected, honestly. At least holding it down. Well, this roll of tape's getting down there, so let me grab something different. So, we got these color tapes too. They're actually the same price as the other tape. And these are actually good, like, say if you have, like, a box that you want to use, or you snag, then maybe it says it has something in the box, which it actually doesn't. You know, it might say, like, liquids or flammable or something like that. Well, you can use this, you can cover up all that because you're not shipping that stuff. And if you take a box like that to the post office that says those things are in there, yeah, they may not catch it, but if they do catch it, they can tell you, hey, we can't ship that box. And then you got that awkward moment, and then you gotta go home and repack it, and you don't want to waste more handling time. That's not good. Because trust me, I learned that the hard way. I got some free boxes, and it happened to be like a liquor store. And of course, all the boxes said what kind of alcohol was in them. You know, I didn't pay no mind. Then I was fairly new at all this. And I took them home. I tried to ship something in a vodka box or something like that. Took it to the post office, and the first thing she said to me was, "You can't ship alcohol." I said, "I'm not shipping alcohol. You know, there's nothing breakable in here." I kind of shook it. I think might have been shipping a pretty big stuffed animal or something, actually. She was like, "Oh, no, can't take it, though, because of that box. What it says on there, it says alcohol, blah, blah, blah." And I had no idea. And that's how I learned that lesson. So, let my mistake be something that you don't do. Save you some time. You know? Alright. So, yeah, this boxing way takes a little bit more tape and stuff because of the way I cut it, whatever. But it'll be worth it. It's saving us, what I say, $12, some change, something like that. So $12 for an extra, I don't know, 10 minutes if I wasn't talking so much. That's an hour and a half of work at minimum wage nowadays, so it's pretty good. It's worth it if you start thinking about it in that way, those kinds of terms. I like to use numbers and stuff like that, but sometimes I'm not the best at following my own rules and things I can think of. Let's see. Try and make this box presentable somewhat and secure. And one more is done with this end, so wasn't that terrible. Definitely had my way of some other boxes before that were pretty difficult. I think the hardest things I ever shipped were CRT TVs, Bose, the large speakers. That was pretty tough. Definitely recommend before you decide to sell anything like that, you kind of have in the back of your mind having the right box and the materials to do it, so you're not wondering if it sells, how am I going to get this thing out of here, because you don't want to waste precious days of handling time on that part. So usually if I am out and I see something I want to get and it's really large, if I know I don't have that box at home or something like that, sometimes I'll pass on it. It's not worth the effort, or I can get something more things that are smaller. But it is hard to find those sometimes, you know. You have to be a little realistic. You can't just let the idea of having a sale overcome you, and packing it could take an hour to do, and that's not worth it. So, get these sides like I did on the other one. Always make sure all the parts where the box connects have tape on them, you know. I think it looks better that way. Maybe I'm overkill, you know. Some people, you might think, hey, you're overkilling on that packing. It's going to get there safe. The customer's going to care more about that. The customer's not going to care about you saving the tape and whatnot, you know. They want their items safe. And like I said, if you buy in bulk and things like that, then a little bit of tape, the tape's not going to be the end of the world for you. Alright. Almost done. Next time, hopefully y'all have like some questions to answer. You know, I'm all about helping people, you know. Because if I teach you something, maybe you guys can teach me something. I'm no expert by any means, but I do watch a lot of videos on this stuff. I try to. I don't do this full time, part time. But it's more so a hobby that turned into something that we were, I wouldn't say we're great at it, but we're good at it, you know, and we have fun with it, you know. It's nice to have extra money, and then, you know, sometimes we can go, hey, we sold 10 things on eBay this week. Hey kids, let's go out and let's just take a little bit of money from that eBay pot and let's just have fun, you know? And you don't have to worry about how we're going to do that stuff with our family. It's a big reason that we keep doing it. We have a good time, you know? It might be like a Saturday trip, yeah, like aquariums and whatever, but in the middle of the day, hey, let's stop by that, you know, that secondhand store and be like, let's see what they got. You know, maybe there's something in there that we could sell this week, or, and, you know, it becomes fun for everyone. So I think I'm done with this. I don't think I need a piece of metal, but I don't know. probably already noticed, like, do not go cheap on the tape. Alright, so I'll show you the finished product. So this is actually it. You know, it's just like the box before, but actually it's a spinner. So no rackets wiggling. I think it's in there pretty good. So we're just gonna weigh it real quick. It weighs, we'll say 213. And I'm just going to remeasure it. That's because, so I don't want to make a mistake on that one, on this one. So let's go back to that. So yeah, we're 30 still, so that's good. We'll measure this way. And this way, actually, I think it's at 15. So let's see this way. This way is definitely 4. So, I might have goofed up measuring that before, but we'll change that real quick. And I think we're going to use the FedEx on this one. And then, yeah, we're good. We're just going to give us a label for it. I'm going to print this label real quick. And we'll get it out FedEx. And the FedEx home delivery, actually, it says it can deliver faster. It might get there 3 days sooner. Might get there 3 days sooner, which is a possibility. And it has the $100 insurance, just in case anything were to happen. And it's not a bad trade-off then. It's definitely good for the customer. You might get it sooner. Alright. And going to California, pretty far trip for the racket. If it was closer, might be cheaper, but it's okay. Profit's profit, sale's a sale. That's what my wife says. A sale's a sale. Alright, there we go. Got the label. And off it goes. Alright, now I do have 2 other sales, but I haven't pulled them yet, so maybe I'll pull them and make another video later, or we'll see. But thanks for checking us out. We'd appreciate it for any feedback, questions, anything like that, and hopefully we can keep helping each other out and learning about eBay.